Hello and welcome to the start of another series. Another series where I take a trading strategy, a mechanical trading strategy, and I code it and I test it and I hope to improve it. And at the end of it, what it is, it gives you a sort of look over my shoulder at how I go about testing and developing strategies. And hopefully at the end of it, if it's a good one, if it's something that's usable, something that you can go away and use yourself. So in today's video, this is the first part of this series. I don't know how many videos it's going to be, 3, 4, maybe. We're going to look at a strategy. Briefly going to show you the rules to it on the board. And it's a breakout type strategy. It's for Forex. First I'm going to test it on dollar yen, but we could go ahead and test it on any such Forex pair or any market, in fact. So what the rules are, what we're looking at here is the start of the session. Now with Forex, most sessions start at around 1700 New York time for Forex. So just to save room on the board, 6 p.m, 7 p.m, 8 p.m, 9 p.m. So 5 p.m. is the start of the session. So these 4 bars, they're hourly bars, okay? Now, within this current new session, there's going to be highs and lows of that session, and they're going to change as time goes on, aren't they? As more bars get painted, there's going to be probably new highs and new lows. So currently, over these 4 hours, these 4 bars, the higher the session is this bar here, this peak here, and the low is down here. Okay, now our strategy, what we're looking for is a breakout of that high or that low. So we're going to go long if we break above the high and short if we go below the low. But here's the thing, when we take these breakouts, we're not looking at them bar by bar. We're going to be working off, essentially we're going to be working off hourly bars like we are here. I'm actually going to go more defined than that. I'll probably be coding off a 15-minute chart. But we can't just take the breakout as they occur, because literally probably every bar, apart from this inside bar, you know, this one's broken the high here, this bar's broken the low of the current session so far. So what we're looking for is a certain period or a certain time window of that session. Now it's a 24-hour session being Forex. So we're looking for a certain time. For example, let's imagine that our time window was 10 p.m. So we're only looking to trade between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. So we've got an hour's time window. It could be 10 p.m, it could be 8 p.m, it could be 1 a.m, 7 a.m. This is something we're going to test. But we've got that hour time window. And so let's say our time window on this strategy is going to be 10 p.m. So on this bar here, if this bar, when it paints, if this bar breaks below the low, then there's our entry. Okay, and if it had broken above this high here, that would have been our entry to go long. If it didn't break below that low or above that high, and we got the next bar, sorry, this is a bit messy. The next bar was like that, and we got the break of the low on the next bar, we wouldn't take the trade, because we're only looking for that hour window where the breakout occurs. So first of all, we'll probably go ahead, see which hour window is the best, and then we'll start testing, start developing, and hopefully improving something, get something really usable in the end. So we're going to go over to my computer. I'll note this idea, it's probably a little bit strange to some of you seeing this sort of time window idea, but it really works. It's an idea I got from Andrea Unga, so all credit to Andrea for this idea. He actually, the one I was looking at, he was trading on the DAX market. It was actually a first hour breakout, but I've kind of modified it, put a little twist on it, and I'm going to be checking many different every hour within that 24-hour period. And of course, we're looking at a Forex pair, not the DAX. So hopefully we're going to get a good development over this one. Stay with me, look over my shoulder as we go through the process, and I've got a feeling, just because I've done a lot of work, a lot of testing work on dollar yen and on breakout type strategies, I've got a feeling that we could get something that's usable. Now, just before I forget, this is a day trading strategy. So what that means is we're opening and closing the trade within the session, so within the 24-hour period. So we might enter somewhere around 10 o'clock in the evening. The session closes the next day at about 16:59 because it opens at 1700. So all trades are closed out at the end of the day, or they might be closed out at a stop loss. We check the stop losses too. But if they go into profit, then they'll be closed out at the end of the day. So it's a day trading strategy. So I hope you're going to find this entertaining, useful, and yeah, just stay with me till the end, and I hope to give you something that you might be able to use. Okay, we're in Multicharts, and we've got a chart of dollar yen, and it starts in 2008 all the way through to the end of 2016, and we're looking at a 15-minute chart. The first thing we're going to look for, we actually run an optimization straight away. We're going to actually look for a time of day to start trading. What we've got is we've got an hour at the moment to trade. So we've got an hour's window. It could be from 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And if there's a breakout that occurs within that hour, then we take the trade. So we've literally just got an hour window. So what we're going to do is run an optimization to find out which is the best start time of the trade. So let's look at the report. On the right hand side here we have the beginning time where we start the trade. So we've got 0, so start trading at midnight, end the trading at 1 a.m. So we've got that hour window, and so on. If we look down the report, I can see the best numbers in terms of net profit around here, let's just bring that down, 2200, 2100. We're looking at a net profit of 4 million, 2200, 5 million. Average trades at best nearly 4,000, 6,000. So I reckon between 2100 or 2200. So let's try those. What you notice actually is we've got the most trades here. Because the session starts at 1700, then we're more likely to get in a trade, so that the trade numbers are higher, closer to the start of the session, because if you remember, we're buying or shorting a breakout of the session high or low so far. So if the session starts at 1700 and we start trading at 1800, it's only got to break that high or low of that previous hour. Whereas if we start a lot later, then the market's had much more time to move, and breaking those extremes is going to be less likely. So let's try looking at a beginning time of 2100 and 2200. And that's the equity curve from 2100, starting trading at 2100, finishing an hour later. And it looks really nice, doesn't it? Up until recently, really, right up until sort of the start of 2016. Don't quite know what's gone on there. Maybe just the fundamentals of the market have changed slightly, but that's a little bit worrying. Nonetheless, let's go on and look at 2200. And this is the equity graph showing starting trading at 2200. And although it doesn't look quite as nice early on, overall I think it's ever slightly more even. So I think we've got a choice there. I'll tell you what we could do, although we haven't optimized it. Let's have a look in between. Let's go 2130 in between the two. And that's the graph of 2130. And you can see it's a kind of combination between the two, isn't it? It's got that little bit of a drop off recently, but it's slightly more uptrending earlier on. It's probably a good compromise. I think we'll stick to 2130 for the moment. Going to 2200 reduces the amount of trades, and we're probably going to look at filtering more trades later on anyway. So let's stick with 2130 at the moment. And it certainly looks like the beginnings of a promising strategy. At the moment, we don't have a stop loss, so I think that's the next thing to do. Just early on, get in a stop loss that's about right. So that's the next thing we're going to do. We'll optimize and have a look for a stop loss. And here's the optimization results for a stop loss. I've actually tested between 0 and a 300 pip stop loss in steps or increments of 10 pips. And straight away, just looking, obviously 0 is using no stop loss, made a net profit of 4.5 million yen, average trade 4,400 yen. Looking down the numbers, I can see a decent area between 1.2 and 1.8 perhaps. So yeah, net profit is best around here. That's probably the best net profit there, 1.4. Let's just go with 1.5. We don't always have to pick the best number, but somewhere in the middle is always nice. So let's see what that looks like now. And that's what the curve looks like with the stop loss of 1.5, which doesn't look particularly different to what it did with no stop loss. In the next optimization, I think we'll look at days where we take the trades or don't take the trades. So we'll look for the best days to be trading this strategy. I'll probably just look at a day that possibly not to take the strategy. So that's going to be the next optimization. And that concludes the first part in this series, trading this breakout style strategy on Euro Yen. First of all, went over the rules on the board. Hopefully you've grasped them now. We've gone to the charts and started looking at it. First of all, we looked at the time window, the best time window to trade this strategy or to take these breakouts. 2100, 2200, they both work quite well. We show somewhere in the middle. We might come back to that later on, but for now, let's carry on with the development using 2130, and we looked at stop loss. Again, something we might change slightly. It probably won't make too much difference now, but for now we're using that 150 pip stop loss. And the results look pretty good actually. The equity curve looks quite nice. Definitely looks something quite promising. Something that's worked well over that whole range period. And hopefully with future developments, stay with me in the next part and we're going to develop further, hopefully improve it even more. So join me in the next part of this series. And if you like these sort of videos, these strategy ones, then please like the video. Please let me know down below what you like about them, what you don't like about them, what you might want changed. And do me a favour, if you can, then you know anyone that might like them, please share it as well, so they might get to see them and I can grow the channel. So thanks in advance, and I'll see you in the next part.